Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Welcome everybody to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, we talk about the 4 different types of freedom: time, financial, location, health freedom. And in that light, I'm always interviewing influencers, thought leaders, people changing the world for the better. So today we have Kendra Corman, and she is a email and content marketing coach. And I'm really fascinated with digital marketing, influencer, social media, all types of marketing, and growing your business. So she's going to talk to us all about that, and I'm happy to welcome her onto the show. Welcome, Kendra.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I know we had connected through Podmatch, and yeah, like I said, I'm fascinated with the digital marketing space, growing a business. And so tell us more about your background, your story, and we'll get started from there.
Okay. So I have a very interesting background. I've got more than 15 years of experience working with brands from the world-renowned Jeep brand all the way down to small solopreneurs and nonprofits. I spent lots of years at Chrysler, and then I moved into business-to-business marketing, where I was the marketing director at a wholesale insurance firm, which was a lot of fun because that's where I saw the impact that marketing and people professionally trained in marketing can have on businesses. And that's really where I got excited about digital marketing, because it made more of an impact than it did at Jeep. And then I got my MBA and decided to go out on my own. And I've been doing that ever since for about 9 years now.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And, I love these stories of, starting out in the corporate world and, finding your passion and then going out and, creating your value. So we'll talk about content marketing, email marketing, in this day and age. Tell us more about email marketing. Is it dead, or does it augment content marketing? And tell us more about that.
So people ask me that question all the time. They're like, email marketing is dead. I'm like, yes, people have been saying that for 10 years. And it's still one of the highest return on investment marketing tactics you can have. That's the power of email marketing. So a couple of years ago, Facebook went down. Everybody knows Twitter had a really good day. I think even Twitter said, hello, world. What happened was people didn't have the ability to contact their customers. People who relied on Facebook and Instagram lost all connection to their customer base, their fan base, if they did not have email marketing in place. Email marketing is permission-based. Someone is inviting you into their inbox. If you go home and you go to your mailbox, you go through it and you're like, junk, junk, junk. Okay. You're used to that. You get very passionate and upset if someone sends you junk mail to your email inbox, right? You're like, oh, delete or black hole or spam. And you don't like that. So when you're able to get people to opt into your email list, then you're able to create a connection. You're able to build a relationship. And marketing is, whether you're the Jeep brand, whether you're wholesale insurance, whether you're KendraCorman.com, it's all about relationships. And when you're creating and building relationships and a know, like, and trust factor, email marketing makes that able to happen at scale. I work with a lot of people that are high touch business to business service providers. And when they're doing their sales, they're doing a lot of one-to-one meetings and one-to-one sales calls and things like that. But they want to grow. And the way that they can grow is through email marketing, because then you're able to stay top of mind with a whole bunch of people really easily in a personal and personalized way. Email marketing has, depending on which service you look at, like it's $38 to $42 return on every dollar you spend on it. Nothing else matches that.
Yeah. I, I love this idea that you talk about ROI and really, especially looking for that underappreciated asset like email or LinkedIn. And I'm curious, when you talk about email in the past, it was, solely email, and then there's all these different types. There's like social media and all this. Um, where do you see like email marketing fit? Because now there's like newsletter, there's SMS, there's bots now. Tell us more about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so there's a lot with that. So I look at my email list is the number one asset in my business. That is the most powerful thing that I have that drives my business forward. I get calls and emails every week off of my email newsletter. So I send a weekly newsletter highlighting my podcast or the content that I've put out or a free webinar, whatever that happens to be. People engage. And then when I go ahead and I ask for a sale, people also engage. And that's one of those keys. You view social media as a way to drive people to join my email list. My goal on social media is to provide value, but enough value that people want more from me, that they want to get that value that I provide. And so my view of social media, it is an amazing reach tool that we've never had before, right?
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and get people's contact information if we're providing them value. Now I can contact them whenever I want to, because you can't export your friends list. If you try to export your contacts on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is amazing and I love it. But if you export your contacts, you can't call them. You can't email them. You can only message them in that platform. And the social media platforms want to keep their users in that platform. And that's their goal. My goal is to be able to reach them in more places than just that when they're on that platform. And so I love that. I am a fan of SMS marketing. SMS or texting is growing in popularity. It's even more personal than email. So you've got to be really careful on what you're doing and what you're choosing to share with people. It's working really well in the retail space. I've only seen a little bit in the business to business space, mostly as like reminders for meetings and appointments and things like that. But you have to think about how often you can send, what you want to be sending, what's your purpose, and it has to be purposeful and something that they want to get. Now, I'm encouraging all my clients to start collecting mobile phone numbers if they can. They don't have to do anything with it yet, but at least they'll have them. And then they're starting to build that database. But it's really, really fun. I love how marketing is constantly changing and driving people to do new things.
Yeah, it's always good to like keep abreast. And email is kind of those fundamentals like SEO, websites, these things still exist and you still have to use them. Now that we're talking about email marketing, talk about 5 ways to grow your email list.
So the number one way to grow your email list is going to be it's actually sort of step 0 is to start with a lead magnet. I love starting with a lead magnet. For professional services and things like that, you're looking at a checklist, a how-to guide, something simple. A PDF is really all you need. And when you create this piece, it's going to add value and solve a problem for your audience. Now, the way you really grow your list is when you get your lead magnet out into the public. So you post it on social media. You post it on your 404 error page. Have you ever gone to someone's website and typed in, or they gave you a bad link, or you went to an old link and you get this oops, that's not found. Sorry, not found. That is great real estate to go ahead and put a link to your lead magnet and a advertisement to your lead magnet, or even like your podcast, and get people to sign up for more information from you. It just draws them into the value that you provide. So again, starting with a lead magnet, you get to put it on your 404. You post about it on social media, but people see what they want to see on social media. They're on social media when they want, and they might not see it. Put it in your about section. That is key. I update my about section now probably every other month, because I didn't update it for like 3 years. And then I was like, oh, I don't even work there anymore. So you have to make sure that you're updating your about section inside your personal profile and inside your business profile, and leverage that to market your lead magnet and growing your email list. Another thing to do is, again, put it on every page. Put it on your about page of your website. Put it on your homepage, things like that. Ways for people to sign up. Finally, the fifth way that you grow your email list and by marketing your lead magnet or your value that you provide is through direct messages. So I am a huge, huge fan of LinkedIn DMs and DMs on Facebook and Instagram. The reason why, if it's done right and you do it as if you're talking to somebody, you don't go, hey, download my new lead magnet. No, like you start with a conversation, you start talking to them. You're not at a networking event where you take their business card or your business card and you throw it in their face, right? You don't want to do any of that. You want to create a relationship, and leveraging the power of direct messages is one of my favorite ways to do that, because you're having a conversation with people and then they sign up and they join your email list. It is amazing to watch your email list grow. I add 50 to 60 people to my email list every week right now. And that's without paid ads. Again, developing a lead magnet, some sort of value. So again, for retail stores, it's a lot of times it's a discount. But for you, it could be a checklist, a how-to guide. You can actually do an audio guide. There's so many things that you can do. You can do a webinar, some sort of value that's going to help your prospect solve their issues. Then you put it on my favorite place, which is the 404 page. You post about it on social media. You put it in your about sections everywhere on social media, every place you have a profile, whether you're super active on it or not, because people do look you up. They'll find those places, right? Then you share about it in the DMs. And then you can also do Facebook ads. That's another place you can go. But I love leveraging everything that's free first. And that's what I encourage. Most of my clients are small businesses and nonprofits. They don't have big ad budgets. So we leverage things that take a little bit more time, but have a much larger impact on the bottom line. And they don't cost as much. They just cost some time.
Yeah. What are some metrics we should be looking at and measuring in email marketing?
So I love email marketing because it's measurable. So that's one of my favorites. It used to be more measurable than it is now. Apple has rolled out all this privacy stuff. I know. I personally prefer being Big Brother and seeing everything and knowing everything that everybody's doing. But these privacy things are starting to get a little bit in our way. However, I do think that they're actually improving the marketing that we're doing. So first off, Apple's iOS 15 update stopped us from being able to track opens. So if you know anybody that has an iOS operated device, and they're using the Mail app. So that means they could have Microsoft, they could have their company email, they could be using Gmail, whatever it is. If they've connected their Apple iOS device to the Mail app and connected their mail there, Apple is pre-opening, so opening for us, the emails. And open is when they download the pictures. So basically, as soon as it's received by that device, Apple says, okay, I don't want you to see what device they're opening it on, when they're doing it, things like that. And I think it's like 80 or 90% of people have opted into this feature that Apple devices have. Open rates are no longer valid. Your open rates should be going up if you are tracking them, but I don't look at opens. You want to increase engagement. And one of the things that's awesome coming out of these privacy changes is that people are now focused on things that they can do to get people to engage with their emails. Always make sure that there's something to click on, some call to action, something along those lines. So I encourage people to look at total clicks. I encourage people to look at their unsubscribes. Are you relating to your audience? Sometimes you want the unsubscribes to go up because you're changing your target audience and your people on your email list are not the right people, and that's okay. But you want to be tracking to see where that's going. And if you're not changing your target audience, you do not want your unsubscribes spiking up because that means you're not providing value to them. So tracking total clicks, which is engagement, tracking any replies that you get if you ask people to answer a question and reply back to you, asking, tracking unsubscribes. Those are some of the most important things that you can track. And then I like to track some of the things that aren't necessarily directly tied to the metrics and the interactions with emails. So I'm a big fan of tracking things like sentiment. Did someone stop me, at my local Kroger and say, oh, hey, Kendra, I watched that, or I'm on a status call with a client and they said, hey, by the way, I listened to this episode, whatever that happens to be. I add some notes on the types of things because there's a lot more intangibles that you can't necessarily measure the same way from just the metrics. But measuring those things, I think, is huge. So list growth, how many people are joining your list on a daily or weekly basis? How many people are bouncing? All of those, the unsubscribes and the clicks, those are probably the 4 biggest ones that I check from a tracking perspective that comes directly out of the email marketing systems that are out there. And then everything else I do, I add notes. So that's always good to track some of those quantitative numbers and add some qualitative pictures to it too.
Yeah. And what are some, what are some of the tools that you can use to build and grow your email list, for some people that are just starting out, all the way from beginner to, the pros? Tell us more.
So I love, love, love email tools. The first thing that you need to get is an email marketing system. So if you're just starting out, I always recommend ConvertKit. I think ConvertKit is a fantastic email marketing tool with great deliverability. If you're a nonprofit or a small business, you're going to want to take a look at ConvertKit and Constant Contact. That's another one that has really good deliverability. There's a couple of systems that have low deliverability. And deliverability is the ability for that email to make the inbox. So there's some systems that have more open APIs that talk to more systems. And so they integrate better with other systems or in an easier fashion. Unfortunately, that means that some people are not using email marketing the way that they should. And you could potentially be negatively affected by what other people are doing inside that system. Constant Contact and ConvertKit are pretty strict on the whole permission-based opt-in system. So they'll shut down your account if you're misusing it. And I think that that's really important, is to work with somebody that's going to shut down your account if you're not using it right, because that helps you in the end. But email marketing system will keep you compliant from a CAN, spam, CASL, GDPCC. I don't remember what the California one is, but there's systems like all over the place that it'll keep you compliant with all those regulations. And I think that that's really important.
Yeah.
Email marketing systems, get them up and running even before you get your website up and running, because you can use forms inside your email marketing system to get your subscribers. Then you can go ahead and set up autoresponders that'll go ahead and give people and serve people regular information. So the email marketing system is the first most important. A couple of other systems that I really like. So I use a WordPress-based website. I really like it. I have Gravity forms inside of that to allow for a prettier sign-up version. I use Opt-in Monster. It's a great thing that's got pop-ups. I use Excel to track my performance. Let's think what else. I love systems. I am like a shiny object squirrel every time that there's a system. Another system I love is Interact. It's a quiz building software called Try, and it's Try. They offer a ton of support if you wanted to create a quiz and help people determine their personality or test their knowledge on something that you work with them on. And it's a very powerful system with a lot of support. But there's 1.5 million things out there. So don't get overwhelmed. Start with the email marketing system. Something easy, something that you like. Test out a few of them. Almost all of them have free trials. And then check their support. Make sure that they have the support level that you need, depending on how technologically advanced you are. There's a ton of support any and everywhere you go for that stuff.
And really great resources. How can people contact you, reach out to you, follow you on your socials, etc.?
So thank you. So anybody can find all the information that they need about me at kendracorman.com. If you're interested in checking out one of my lead magnets, you can check that out at kendracorman.com/1000. And it will talk to you about how to grow your list and how to add to your subscribers and get to your first 1,000 subscribers. And it walks you through a lot of what we talked about today with a little bit more detail.
Yeah, and for all the listeners out there, let's thank Kendra for coming onto the show, really talking about, core marketing tool for your engine is email marketing. Really, it could have been a masterclass. Be sure to check her out on social media. She's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel, and she's also a podcast host of Imperfect Marketing, and as well as her lead magnet as well. Be sure to check that out, all the resources will be in the links and show notes. And with that, thanks so much for coming onto the show and adding so much value.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.